Hello and welcome to my video. It's OT19 or Ultimate Gamer 19,000. I'm here today to present to you all what is the best background for every single class in the new 2024's Player's Handbook. So yeah, let's just get right into today's video. But before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more D&D 2024 build guides, videos, explanations, and overall tricks and tips for optimization and anything else to make your characters better. So yeah, first of all, I really just want to shout out a comment I got from my Paladin video. It is from Hunculus1462, and he said, I agree with you. Some constellation for your class. Get a Ring of Spell Storing Spell Gem, Chronology Wizard, Abiance Orb, or something similar and cast the buffed Find Steed or Freighter Grind Steed spell for your whole party into the magic item. Now you would have 3 to 6 permanent griffins to help you for encounters depending on your party size. Now, I want to read that out, because first of all, who the hell thought of that? And genuinely, this comment made me laugh very much, especially since the Paladin videos did get some comments of people that didn't watch the whole video but commented. Because if they've actually would have watched the whole video, they would have realized a lot of the things they said I actually agreed with and better made. But whatever. I just wanted to say shout out to this guy for genuinely leaving one of the funniest comments I think I've ever gotten. This made me laugh so hard because who thinks of this? You can tell this guy's definitely either he invented it or one of his players or have done this before, because I don't know how you can think of something like this. It's just it's amazing. So shout out to him. But let's actually get into the video. So yeah. Alright, so if you don't know, in 2024, backgrounds have been majorly buffed. Now, they all give you one origin feat. Origin feats are basically some feats in the 2014 Player's Handbook that were pretty underpowered or weak, or that have been made weaker, but now you get them at first level. Meaning, yes, everyone in 2024 will be getting a feat at first level guaranteed. And now also your ability score improvements, aka where you can get either 3+1s or 1+2 and 1+1, is now tied to your background instead of your race or species. Which, at the end of the video, I will go into my over thoughts and opinions. And so that got me to question. I bet there's gonna be a lot of people that don't feel like going over every single background and seeing, oh, is this good for my sorcerer? So here you have a one-stop guide. I will be telling you what background is good for the certain class you want to play, so then you just know. So and then you can always come back to this video and simply just find your class. So the first one we're going to be starting off is sorcerer. Now the backgrounds that are good for sorcerers are charlatan, entertainer, hermit, or merchant. Now the way I described or kind of picked what would be good for a class is if the two main ability scores that are most important to the class, are they buffed? Yes or no? Then that's the best. When it comes to the free feats, they seem to be pretty multifaceted. It's almost like anyone can really take them. Because I feel like most casters probably wouldn't mind having lucky or skilled or tough. Like I feel like or even alert. I feel like most casters wouldn't mind having this. So when it comes to the feat, at the end of the day, some feats are better than others. But I feel like any character can really use any of these starting feats with decent proficiency, in my personal opinion. So I didn't really take those as a kind of like thing to really. I didn't really factor that in because yeah, I mean, like, even if you get magic initiate like druid on like a sorcerer, you can still do like a shillelagh build in there or something of that nature. And also, many of these classes have multiple backgrounds you can pick from, meaning there are multiple feats you can pick from each background. So at the end of the day, you're gonna be pretty good. There are definitely many ways to make some pretty fun and wacky builds. So even if the feat suggest even if you're not using custom backgrounds, which again is another point of contention that we'll go over at the end of the video. Now, the warlocks, charlatans, entertainers, hermits, and merchants will make a good warlocks. Slowly, I'm pretty sure because it buffs constitution and charisma. Same thing for sorcerer. In my opinion, most casters want a good constitution and their good spellcasting ability stat. Everything else be damned. So That's kind of my main criteria with the sorcerers and warlocks. Now, for the bards, they would be good charlatans, entertainers, hermits, or merchants. Again, I'm pretty sure they all increase charisma and constitution, and I think some of them even create increase charisma, constitution, and dexterity, which is pretty nice. Now, for the rogues. Rogues will be good charlatans, criminals, scribes, or soldiers. Now, all of those three backgrounds are pretty different, which I mean, I feel like for every class, many of them have different routes you can go. So, I know for some people, the flavor definitely is taking a hit, but I don't think it's a situation where like or like in 2024 where if you wanted to play a paladin, you kind of either had to go barbarian or dragonborn, or else you're really shooting yourself in the foot. So I don't think it's one of those situations, but it still does kind of suck. Now for paladins, this is for strength and charisma based paladins. You good paladins would be charlatans, nobles, merchants, and sailors. Now, mainly this is because they either increase strength and charisma or charisma and constitution for charisma based paladins, which is it's very easy to become a charisma based paladin in 2024. All it takes is one level of warlock, so I guess that is a small buff that is the overall pretty massive nerf to paladins, and overall just if you want to see why I believe paladins were assassinated when it comes to flavor and overall mechanics, go check out the video I posted. It's a pretty good one, so yeah. Next, we have the fighter. Fighters would be good charlatans, criminals, guards, farmer, sailor, and soldiers. Now it does seem that fighters, with no surprise, are the class that has the most amount of valuable, kind of good backgrounds. Mainly because fighters can either be dexterity or strength based. So meaning that many of the backgrounds that it can increase your dexterity and strength with constitution or intelligence for eldritch knights out there most likely will make really good fighters. Next, for rangers. Rangers can be good charlatans, sailors, and soldiers. Mainly because, of course, they can increase their wisdom, their dexterity, or their constitution. Because I know some rangers really don't delve in pretty much their spell casting. They kind of just use it for conjure animals, it seems, or Zephyr Strike, or conjure beasts, or some of those type of spells. Now, monks, my new favorite class. Monks will make good sailors, farmers, soldiers, and scribes. Overall, it does suck because monks cannot. Because the way I'm thinking about building monks is a +2 to your dexterity and a +1 to your wisdom. But I would also like to get the tough feat. And sadly, that is not possible. You cannot get everything I just listed and the tough feat. So you have to make some pretty decisive decisions. I know some people say, oh, you can still get Tavern Brawler, which in my opinion, I think Tavern Brawler is nice for monks, but I think 10 times out of 10, if I had the choice, I would take Tough instead of Tavern Brawler. But things happen. Now for barbarians, soldiers, sailors, and farmers will make good barbarians. I feel like none of these are really that much of a surprise. I feel like when you see the list of what these classes will be good at, I don't really think many of them are really surprised, except for maybe the paladin with the charlatan. But maybe that can be playing into like the people that kind of like say you're for religion just to like make money, I guess. So I guess if you want to make like a paladin that's not really religious, he just does it to like scam people out of money, I guess. Which is an interesting table to is an interesting character to bring to the table, man. But I guess you could write a story about how your paladin does eventually learn how to be a good character, not scam people. I don't know. I feel like you can make some pretty interesting characters with these new background choices. Now, druids will make good sages, hermits, guides, and farmers. Do I have to explain? Yeah, of course, druids are gonna make good farmers, hermits, and sages. I feel like this is a pretty obvious, like, because I feel like with a lot of these, there is some very obvious picks, but I do feel like for at least every class, there is one option that's a little, I wouldn't think that. Now, for clerics, they have sage, hermits, guides, and farmers as good backgrounds. Overall, again, many of the background choices for classes that have like similar ability scores they want to be good at are going to be very similar. Druids and clerics legit have the same list. Sorcerers, warlocks, and bards have the same list because they all increase constitution and charisma, which surprise, sorcerers, warlocks, and bards want a good constitution and charisma, and druids and clerics want a good wisdom and constitution. So And then finally, for the wizards, they can be good sages, criminals, and merchants. I feel like merchant wizards is a pretty common trope, at least. I know many there are like mage guilds that like sell stuff to sell. And also there are criminal mages. I feel like is probably one of the more rarer ones, and probably another example of some classes kind of having background choices that don't feel apparent, but still pretty flavorful. Now, I am going to add in, if you just wanted to see what class you liked is good with what, whatever, boom, there it is. You can click off the video, but keep on watching, please. Now, what is my genuine opinion of how the system has been made? Do I like backgrounds? Do I like some of the changes? What changes do I don't like? What changes do I do like? Here's the video for that. Overall, I feel like backgrounds are good, but also bad. I hate the fact that ability scores are tied to backgrounds. Look, it makes sense. Look, and it does. It makes sense, yeah. Oh yeah, it makes sense that if you're a farmer, you're probably gonna be wise and strong and have a good constitution. Like yeah, it makes sense. But if we're being honest here, this is D&D. Wizards can throw fireballs and change reality by saying I wish. I don't. It's just I really wish that when it came to getting a +2 and a +1, it was just inputted into other things. That's what I really wished. I wish when you were just building a character, in the rules it said when you're deciding your character stats, you can decide to give a +2 to any stat and a +1 to one stat or 3+1s. I wish you could just do something like that. I hate I hate when they limit it to you by species or by background. I genuinely don't like that. Because unless if you're playing a very unoptimized character, which I do get some people do make unoptimized characters, then I feel like you're kind of just making yourself like gonna like because look, if you're making a rogue that's not dexterity based, you're gonna have a worse experience with the rogue. So if you're playing a rogue, you can't. I'm pretty sure you can no longer have a rogue that is a noble. Yeah, because nobles don't increase your dexterity. They only increase your intelligence, which may be useful for arcane tricksters. But that's about it. Which I know a lot of people like to play rogues that came from a noble background, by left, because maybe they were taken from there, or whatever, this, that, and the third. So now, losing that really sucks. And overall, I feel like it is kind of just pretty dumb. I wish they just made backgrounds give you a free feat and just leave the ability scores for character when you're picking your ability scores. They just, or buff, or I don't know, or just buff like point buy, standard array, and I don't know, something else. There's buff. At the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like it's a step back. And if we look at Tasha's Cogent of everything, when I feel like in the next couple books we will get a feature that sort of just says, "Oh, you may replace your ability scores dictated by your background for any ability score that you want." I mean, come on, let's be real. It happened in 2024. It's most like happened in 2014. It's most likely gonna happen here again. So it's just annoying to revert back when we know that in a couple years that changes will be reverted again. It's a cycle that I'm not really keen on repeating, so I am not going to. In my table, in my games, I will allow for custom or altered backgrounds. Simply because I like powerful characters. If my player wants to metamize the living hell out of their character, that means I can metamize the living hell out of my monsters. In my current campaigns, I had a level, well, I think it was like it was a level 6 or 7. I think it was a level 7 party, and I threw at them two CR9 monsters and then two CR3 monsters, and they won the encounter. Yeah, they almost died, but it was a very interesting and fun encounter. I had fun. My player had fun. Everyone was having fun because yeah, their characters are inherently stronger, but that means I can use stronger stuff and better. So I don't really care for metamancing or optimizing and at least for my home games, because all of my players are metamancers. Hey, so am I. I ain't gonna hold you. I also like building powerful characters, so my monsters can inherently be more powerful. So on my table, I will be allowing custom backgrounds for that reason. Also, sometimes my players do care for, because with my table, players they build powerful characters, but then they give their characters their flavor. It's this is a very weird this is a very weird comparison, and I mean I've already gone over like the main meat of the video, so I can go over. But it's kind of like when someone is making a dish like Brussels sprouts. Like character, they're making Brussels sprouts because they're good for you, because it's good. But then they have to add in the flavor and seasoning, so then it's just less than you're just eating something for simply just because basically, my example is that the Brussels sprouts are their overpowered characters, but the seasoning is the flavor they put on it, so then eating it or playing it is fun, is enjoyable, and not just boring. That's what kind of my comparison is, and that's how many of my players are. They care for power and for flavor, which I'm very lucky to have. And I'm lucky I don't have players that only care for one and not the other. So yeah, I will be allowing customized backgrounds at my table, fully customizable. Overall, I just think this is kind of a fumble, and it's a massive buff to humans, and for monks it really sucks because you can't get dexterity and wisdom and the tough feat, which for monks that really sucks because monks really want all of that. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's a revert. Am I really sad? Like, do I care for the revert? No, because it doesn't affect me. But when it comes to my build, it's going to be a lot more annoying to suggest certain options because some players won't be allowed to use customs. So now for my builds, I will be saying, oh, here if you can use custom origins, here it is. If you can't, use this one. It's going to be really annoying, and it really nerfs a bunch of cool characters you can make. Because even at then, because yeah, this is near the end of the video, so I can kind of ramble all I want. Because the thing is, because the class I'm most excited to build is monks. I'm very excited to play monks. I'm very excited to build them. And most monks, unless you, I want a good constitution. Want a good HP. Don't really care for Constitution, but they just want a good HP. So taking a tough feat with the monks, but still being able to get a +2 to your dexterity and +1 to wisdom is massive. It's pretty good. It's something I definitely want. But now I can't get that. I can get a Tavern Brawler monk, but Tavern Brawler is pretty booty in my opinion. It's not booty, but it's certainly there. I feel like a lot of people are overhyping, oh, monks with Tavern Brawler are gonna be so OP, and it's like, I think monks are gonna be OP because their monks are OP. Now, not because of Tavern Brawler. I don't know, that's a little gripe I had. Yeah, overall, those are my thoughts and those are my opinions. Overall, it's annoying, but I do feel like classes do have a wide array of options. But when there's a build you really want to make that you can't make because the backgrounds, it really does suck. And it makes human, again, a very nice option to pick. Because originally, I thought background feats were pretty weak. I didn't think you would want to take a background feat. But now, since in the official rules, custom backgrounds are not allowed, that really changes everything. And overall, this is a pretty big buff to humans, in my personal opinion. So, shout out humans. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, OT19 signing out.